What I've been doing this morning is what I can only imagine is one of the strangest experiences I've had. Nice. I wasn't hoping, but my mental health, as a result of my life, has been trying to tell me to listen to Lauryn Hill. I was with Lauryn Hill singing the chorus, "If I Ruled the World." The chorus is beautiful, and otherwise it's a rap song, and you can't really call that beautiful, but that's where I kind of am. And I'm going to try and explain to you where I am. I know the best thing to know health, but I make it life stream for my health. And in that place, what would be helpful is to affirm what I'm experiencing. And that is a very, very real possibility to have an impact on the world. I'm 30 and not with power per se, but with the ability to truly have an impact in a way that wanted. As a 17-year-old, there are many ways to have an impact on the world. What I'm in so much pain at the moment, it's unbelievable. But as a 17-year-old, I'm a Libran, next time we dream. I've dreamt of having a positive influence on my own life. Understanding from Asia. If you do for others, there just might be a little angel on your shoulder that hears your dreams. So I'm saying, do good in your dreams. There just might be a little angel on your shoulder. They're more likely to happen. And boy, did I feel the angel here. Let's just say I never really made it beyond well, let's just say I just kept on dreaming. I had to dream, and I never really made it. I never really made it. But I kept on dreaming. And I'm 36 now. And up until, 3 years ago, so 33, 34, that sort of age, double 17. I sort of gave up. That's when I sort of gave up. But if you do anything for half your life, for 17 years, and it's all in a positive energy, and you give all your energy towards that endeavour constantly, life looks like outside. That's what you're aiming for. So in other words, you might be working at McDonald's, dreaming of being president one day or something, prime minister, and everything you're doing in that job role in McDonald's serving hamburgers is with the vision and idea. Then you get in a bank, and it becomes a little bit more real. And then your life changes and it becomes worse. But you don't stop dreaming. It gets better. You believe in the dream a little bit more. 17 years later, it's all that dream. And you sort of give up. Now let's imagine what you dreamt of. Instead of being president or prime minister, was going out and partying, and everything you could do was to go out and party. And after 17 years of sometimes partying, sometimes not, because you had partying, going out and having a good time, down to a fine art in your head. It's not the best analogy, I know, but what I'm trying to say is maybe think of something that you could have dreamt of for 17 years and seen within every action of your life for 17 years in everything you are. My brain isn't working right now to really give a good analogy. In everything you are that you've given, it's been a child for all its purposes. If you've got a child, father, that's probably the best analogy. After a child, you have pregnancy. And after 17 years, that child's ready to move out of home. And it moves out of home, and it's the right time for you. You can relax, put your feet up, you think to yourself, you've given everything to that child, and that child is still there in everything you see in the world, even if the child isn't with you anymore. In other words, for all intensive purposes, that energy, that programming that you've given to life shapes your eyes, shapes our eyes. When we look at the world, even if we're glad that child has moved out of home early, given us a break, we don't really stop thinking about them, I imagine. I've not had a child. I don't imagine you stop thinking about them. It's like their energy is with you always, in everything you do. But if life then wants to take you in another direction where it demands all your energy, so for me, that's my mental health and physical health, and that demands all of my energy. And in that place, I can forget about my dream of when I was 17. But when I'm in that pressured place and I'm really asked questions of those 17 years of raising that child, which was for me to give myself a good life, in everything the world is, just to be abundant in money, really and truly, first and foremost, to be abundant in money, because that provides dreams, that provides necessities, that provides needs. And really and truly thereafter, it was to be there for the world, for planet Earth, for humanity. And my journey along that way of education, not necessarily school, but education, what I decided to feed my mind, was all in that pursuit. So after 17 years of the child moving out of home and me giving up on my dream, just like, fuck it, I'm 36, I can barely get dressed in the morning. What chance am I going to have of being rich for myself? What chance am I going to have in being rich for the world? So in other words, if I had money, I'd have power and say in the world to do good. It'd be a lot easier to make positive change with money than being poor. And that was the way I saw making positive change. For a lot of people, it could be something different. They could see making positive change. Oh, there's no need for money. I have a very good message to send. All I need to do is get myself on stage and famous, and I spread my message that way. For me, it was money could be the message. Money could be the catalyst. And over the past 3-4 years of having given up, every time I'm really asked questions of in life, I can't get that energy out of my bones, the program in my head, because I guess when we get to a certain age in life, we hit a wall. In other words, we start to feel life and the pressures of life and how that locks us in. And we don't get to do what we want. We don't get to fulfill our dreams, our ambitions. And that becomes the boundary of life. And you have to prioritize other necessities. But it's like a really weird situation where I just see it more and more, how much I'm just done to the past dream of never having achieved it. I gave a lot of energy in my life to life. And I'm programmed and wired that way now. All I think about really is the world. It's not helpful that in the sense of what we're talking about, to have had an uncle that really made that dream clean in terms of being human. So my uncle was a Taoist. The Taoists I see them as humanitarians, really, in black, with a cigarette in hand, working at any employment within the world. But ultimately, they're humanitarians, and my uncle helped refine my dream to humanity. And really and truly, 3-4 years after giving up, I never really gave up, because every time I was asked a question of the way I would respond, it was like my very life was that dream. So in other words, the goodness in that dream meant more than a lot of things that this world could give me. So in other words, material possessions were always, every time after my father's passing, I gained money for the first time in my life at 35, 34, something like that. And really and truly, what that dream taught me is who I was. The way my uncle refined it in terms of humanity, and my journey along that way of what I educated myself, how I shaped my mind, how I shaped my eyes to the world for that dream. By the time I was finally given money, even though I couldn't do anything with that money in terms of the dream, knowing what, for instance, I love technology. I've loved technology since a kid. I've never been able to afford technology. I've always had to find other ways of having like an iPhone or having a computer. I never had the best. I never had what I wanted. I never had what was there in the world other than an iPod once upon a time. iPod, and at 35, life said to me, here, Andreas, at the time, here's money. What do you do with it? And I spent that money, but not in a way that I ever dreamt money would be spent. In other words, it was pointless, every pound that was spent. Everything I bought was in the same energy of that dream. In other words, it was to look after myself on a real fundamental, clean level, health. That's what we're ultimately doing when we look after ourselves, looking after our body and health, with the ambition of possibly, if I got lucky, that dream might come true again. Not really giving any energy in that direction, but just this little, if there was a chance that maybe that this, so I bought laptops, I bought stuff, I bought technology with that money, and everything that was bought was sort of with the, well, I can't really do anything with this right now because I'm disabled. And the amount of money I've got isn't really clear how I can make a change in the world the way I had once dreamt. But just maybe if my circumstance should change by a miracle, I could use this laptop in this way. I could use this other bit of technology in another way for the sake of helping the world. I might have had to be very flexible in how I saw helping the world, but because it was just like, if I can help the world in any way, I'd be happy rather than being locked into just about being able to help myself. Sorry, I'm having real trouble with my voice at the moment. It's gone whiny again, and when you're in terror, the sound of your voice is important. And well, I didn't really manage to do much with that money. Life then came back and said, well, I'm going to beat you. And it's taken me down to new levels, new depths of what it means to be human. And at least in this world, I'm still here. And a miracle's happened. A miracle has happened. I haven't written down the code yet to be 100% certain. But I know at least on 2, 3 levels, I have a real chance of changing the world due to a 5-minute break within my mental health struggles and realizing just having a realization, thinking about spirituality and application to the world, and having a light bulb moment, so to speak. And in that light bulb moment, I realized through spirituality how it's possible to maybe get a true artificial intelligence on a computer. Thereafter, I realized, well, that might mean mathematics is essentially broken and can be improved. Thereafter, I realized that every standard classical computers we have at home, is potentially a quantum computer awaiting the appropriate software. So I've had 3 fundamental, real, possible avenues forward. But even if one of those comes off, what I've essentially been given is what I've been asking for all of that time. The ability to change the world, do good for the world. And to listen to the chorus on If I Ruled the World. It's a beautiful chorus. I suggest that you might want to listen. But in this, I haven't got a lot of people. And really, that's where I'm at. I don't know where I was really hoping to go with this live stream other than be accountable to another human, even if I can't see them. Where I'm at. In other words, if you justify your life to somebody else, justify but state it on psychology, and I guess that's what I was really hoping to achieve. Back to the fight.